Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the channel. ZP002 here. Chris Bardagon with ZERT. Coming back at you with another product video. Wanted to talk about medical equipment today, medical gear, medical kits, medical training, the importance of all of it. We have stressed numerous times on this channel, on our podcast, through our social media, and even through training classes, how important it is that you have some form of medical training. It's amazing to think how much people spend on firearms training and buying new firearms and new gear, but they don't realize that the chance of them using that skill versus using something that involves these pieces that are on the table is not the same. You are more likely to have to use medical equipment and medical training than you are a firearm. And that's just facts, guys. I mean, you can take how old you are in years, break that down to days, and give yourself an average. You are 0 for however many thousands, tens of thousands of days without having to use your firearm. But I challenge you to tell me the last time you had to use some form of medical gear. I had to use some this past weekend while camping. So with that being said, I wanted to do a quick video on some of the things that I have available that I carry in my car, and on my person and in my office. These are my personal items here that are on the table. First and foremost, probably the most important thing that you can carry and you can get training on is a tourniquet. This is a standard cat tourniquet, probably the gold standard of tourniquets. There are different versions out there. There are different manufacturers out there. They all have their own features and benefits. They probably all have some pros and cons. It's going to be up to you guys to do the research on which one works the best. If you take a TACMED class or a Stop the Bleed class, it is very, very likely that the instructor will have a lot of different versions of tourniquets that you will be able to try and train with. I will tell you that find one that works the best for you and that you will carry, and then do that. How you choose to carry this is all on you. Dealer's choice, if you will. If you wear some kind of cargo pants and you can fit this in a cargo pocket, great. If you put it in your back pocket, great. Some folks take this thing and they kind of open it up and they wrap it around their ankle. Again, whatever works as long as you have it on you, near you, and can use it. One of the other tourniquets that's out there is the rat tourniquet. It did experience a little bit of controversy in the past, but again, that's for you to do some research on and figure out what is the best option. We're going to go ahead and put that aside, and then we're going to move on to the kits that you see in front of us. We got two different kits here, folks. Both are by Adventure Medical Kits. One is a family first aid kit that's more geared towards children in the wilderness. And then we have a larger medical kit. Again, both by Adventure Medical Kits, which is a great brand. We're not affiliated with them at all, but I have used their products and carried their products for a while. We're going to go ahead and move this one over to the side, and we are going to take a look at the smaller of the two. What I really like about these kits is they make it very easy to figure out what's inside and who it's for. So this one is designed for 1 to 4 people, and it is also suggested that it is for camping and just kind of daily use. On the front, it gives you that information, and on the back, which is pretty cool, it gives you the contents of the entire kit. When you open this thing up, it is set up into 3 sections, and each one of them is labeled, and it will provide you, obviously, the label will provide you what it's kind of used for, right? So the left side here is for sprains, strains, and instruments, and it contains like a cold compress, some shears, some safety pins, tweezers, and a one-time use thermometer. Also, what it has in it is a little booklet here that is caring for children in the outdoors. So it'll provide you some basic information and basic knowledge. Moving to the center, you have this Afterbite, kids Afterbite stuff for ticks and mosquitoes and such. On the right side, you have the wound care, and then you have the burn care and the blister care. So in here, you'll have some antiseptic wipes and some medical tape, some gloves, and some of that, and some bandages. In the smaller pack is the medication. So in here, you have your ibuprofen, acetaminophen, some Naturapel wipes for bites and whatnot. But what's crucial to know about this stuff is if you buy one of these kits, whether you buy it on the ZERT website, whether you buy it on Amazon, wherever you do your shopping, just check and make sure that the medication has not expired. This kit is probably a good secondary kit to have. You never really want to just do one and done. And we always talk about that, or we have talked about that in the past, that one is none and two is one. So having multiple medical kits in your vehicle, in your house, there are no downsides to that. There really are not, folks. So, on the back side of this, like I said, it lists out the contents of it. We'll touch on a couple of them, and then it comes down to you guys doing research to see if this works for you. But the book is done by Barbara Kennedy. She's an MD, so I'm sure there's some good knowledge in there. On the wound care, you've got your basic butterfly closures, your antiseptic wipes, your triple ointment, antibiotic ointment, some gloves, some more Band-Aids, some sterile gauzes, some sterile non-adherent dressing, tape, cotton swabs, and alcohol swabs, or cotton tip applicators and alcohol swabs. You got some moleskins, pre-cut and shaped for blisters. For the strains and sprains, you've got your elastic bandages with hook and loop closures and a cold compress. For the medical instruments, you've got your little single-use thermometers, your bandage scissors, your tweezers, and some safety pins and medication, like we said, ibuprofen, aspirin, Afterbite stuff. Great little kit to keep in the vehicle, folks. So highly recommend checking out Adventure Medical Kits. All right, we're going to put that one aside, and we're going to pull out the big guy. Now, as you can see, this one roughly is the same size, but it is a lot thicker. All right. This one is designed for 4 people, but up to 7 days. So this has multiple days of medical equipment inside of it. And I think that's important. And obviously, like you can see on the back, the same thing. It spreads out into different compartments. And in each one of these compartments, it has information as to what's inside of it. So as we open this thing up, you'll see it here. Each piece kind of Velcro, well, these two pieces, the bottom piece is Velcro closed, and then everything has a zipper that keeps all of the contents in place, and each piece has a label as to what's inside of it. Very basic, very similar to the first kit. This one also contains a medical book, but this book is a little bit bigger. It's a little bit thicker. And this one is titled Wilderness in Travel Medicine. So it's going to be a longer trip. You'll have a little bit more information as to what you might expect while you're out there. I don't know if this was by the same author or not. Nope, this was by a Dr. Eric Weiss. So, 4th edition of this book. But we'll put that aside here and kind of just go into some of these things. Again, your basic medical kit, but remember, it's for longer duration. So you've got your bandages, you've got your medical tape, you've got your shears, larger size shears, you've got more cold compress in there. All of the same type of stuff that we saw in the first kit, but just more of it. And as we said in the first kit, it does contain all of the information as to what's on or what's inside the kit on the back. So if we close this up and seal it and then zip it back up, it'll tell you that for the wound care, the burns, and the blister care, it's got the same thing, right? So you got your wound irrigation tool. So it's got that. That's new. That was not in the other kit. You got 10 wound closure strips. You got 10 sterile dressings, 1 bandage elastic, 2 gauze bandages. You got 10 yards of medical tape. You got 14 of those blister moleskins and 2 of those cotton applicators. Again, going back to the cuts and scrape side of things, you got some bandages, Band-Aids, all stuff that you need and you should have access to. What's cool about this kit is you can add things to it as you need it, or you can add different things. If you like a certain kind of Band-Aid or a certain type of shears to cut clothing or whatever, add it. Remove what you don't want and put in what you do want or what you've had training using. As far as to stop the bleed fast, you got a trauma pad. So it's a chest. It looks like it's a chest seal, 5x9. You got a triangular bandage, and you got 2 things of gloves in here. There are no Israeli bandages in here. That's something that you could add on your own should you choose to. But it's got some duct tape. It's got a face shield. It's got the single-use thermometers. So pencil, and a patient assessment form, which I think is pretty important to have if you are in a place where you cannot immediately get to civilization and you need to perform some kind of medical situation out in the wilderness or in the wild. A great kit to have. They have different sizes of these. This one is called the Mountain Series, the medical kit Mountain Series, and this is the Explorer. So it's for 4 people over 7 days. Again, all made by Adventure Medical Kits. Highly recommend this brand. There are probably others out there that are good as well. If you choose to go with one of those, let us know what you think of it. We would love to hear some feedback. This is what I found, and this is what I was using. So it's what I'm talking about right now. I know what's in it. I know what I like about it and what I don't like about it. What's great about these folks is you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with how many medical kits you have. You can't go wrong with which ones you have, as long as they're a reputable company and it's not just fake stuff. So make sure you are aware of all that. But what I can stress with this is, while it is important to have the medical gear, it's even more important to have the medical training that goes along with it. So make sure you are heading out there and getting the training that you need to be able to use this stuff. Do you need training to apply a Band-Aid? No. Do you need training to use tweezers to remove a splinter or a tick? No. But when you start getting into that heavier stuff, where you need to deal with chest seals and tourniquets and clearing airways, those are all things that you do need training for. CPR, making sure that you understand the March system. And if you don't know what that means, check it out. Look it up on Google. There's information out there for all of those medical situations. A Stop the Bleed class, a TAC Med class. They're probably being put on in your area, whether it's through ZERT or whether it's through another company. Just inquire, ask. We can give you that information very, very fast. But I do stress the importance of getting medical training, folks. Getting gear to use with your medical training is just as important. Choose wisely, choose often, because it's stuff that you don't want to be without when you need it. That's the worst part of this. So that's it for today's little installment on product knowledge and product review. Adventure Medical Kits, the Explorer, and the Family First Aid. You can pick them up probably on Amazon. You can pick them up on the ZERT website, but just make sure you know how to use them when you do get them. Until next time, guys, you stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon. ZP002, out.